Hi guys, so for this assignment, we're talking about how we progress core exercises through a stabilization, strength, and then power phase. So before I get into the two exercises that I chose, I was going to touch on why we progress core exercises through stabilization, strength, and power phases in that order. So first and foremost, stabilization. So if you're building a house, you want a firm, sturdy foundation. You don't want a weak foundation, otherwise the house will fall. So that's kind of the same analogy we can use for the human body, where the core is the foundation. So we want a strong, stable foundation before we go and work on other things within the body. So, and then we go from stabilization to strength. So the reason we do strength before power, I like to use equations to kind of paint the picture for this. So strength can be viewed as the amount of force placed on something, whereas power is that amount of force times distance divided by time. So in the power equation, we have force in the numerator, which is in essence the strength. So since it's in the numerator, the lower number of strength, the less strength we have, the smaller power output that will give us. So the higher strength we have, the higher that numerator gets in the power equation, and then the more power we have total. So to kind of sum that up, the more strength we have, the more power that we are able to produce. So it just makes sense to train strength first, so that way when we get to power, we can exhibit a higher power output. So again, to sum those three up, we start with stabilization, so we can have that firm, stable foundation. Then we go to strength, because the more strength we have, the higher power output we can achieve after that. So that's why we progress from stabilization to strength to power. So the first exercise I chose is a banded twist. So first and foremost, you need a band, and you're going to attach the band to a sturdy surface, and ideally it would be about hip height, but this is all I have to work with right now. So as you can see, it's a little lower than my hip. Again, in an ideal world, it would be about the same height as the hip. So to start, I'm going to be twisting left. So that means that I'm going to want to grab the handle with my left hand first, then wrap and clasp my right hand over my left hand. So for the stabilization aspect, we're just going to do a banded twist hold. So how you want to set up is you want to have your feet perpendicular to this band that you're using. Second, well, in the hold position, the shoulders are going to want to be over the hips. You're not going to want to hold it here. You're going to have the shoulders and hips in line, shoulders right on top of the hips. You're going to want to have the athlete get into athletic stance, comfortable stance, about feet shoulder width apart. You have a slight bend in the knee. You don't want locked out knees. You don't want super low, just a little bend. You get that nice athletic position. From here, you're going to have the athlete straighten the arms out completely, because the longer the lever arm is, the more resistance, or the more force is needed to move that resistance. So that's why we do it from out here and not in here. So again, we have the athlete totally straighten their arms out. And again, we want to be far enough away from the anchor point that there's resistance already on the band. When we lean, when we rotate back, we don't want that resistance to give out. We want it nice and taut. So again, my feet are perpendicular, my arms are straight, and from here, I'm just going to instruct the athlete to twist their hips and spine so that the handle ends up in between my pec muscles, in between the chest muscles right here. And again, as you can tell, my shoulders are right over my hips, and my hands are about even, again, with my chest. It's the height is chest height, and then the handle is in between my chest. And then I push out, and I'm holding here. So as you can see, my spine isn't moving. It's a good stabilization aspect. The core muscles are stabilizing my body. Try not to let this resistance band pull me back. It's keeping me nice and straight right here. So again, you would have the athlete hold this position, and then once they get stronger, before we go into strength, you can always take a few steps out, get more resistance, and hold that here. So you can kind of progress before we go into the strength. So once we get the stabilization aspect down, we're going to turn the banded hold into a banded twist. So you're going to set up the same way. You're going to be taut, have the band nice and taut. Again, feet are going to be perpendicular to the band. And we're going to start already in a twisted position, so our hip is already twisted. So again, my arms are going to be straight, and I'm going to be twisted back toward this way. So you can tell I'm already twisted. I'm not starting straight, I'm starting twisted. So from here, you're going to have the athlete brace their core muscles. You want to engage those core muscles before we twist. That way the athlete is focusing on using the core muscles to rotate us and not the arms or shoulders or anything else. You want them to brace and use those core muscles to twist. So from here, again, a little bend in the knees, athlete braces, and they're going to use their core muscles to twist the hips, twist, rotate the spine, to rotate all the way over to the other side as far as they can. When I'm rotating, since I'm rotating left, my right foot is going to turn a little bit, and that's just so that I can get a little extra twist. So when I'm here, I'm rotating, squeezing my core muscles, twisting my foot, twisting as far as I can. That's as far as I can twist, and then I'm coming back. Again, so for this one, you want to focus slow on the concentric movement, slow on the eccentric movement. So you're here, twisting. I can't go anymore. Control it back, and stopping as far as I can twist this way. So that's going to be the strength aspect for that. Next is going to still be the banded chop for the power portion and the power progression, but we're just going to do this movement with a high rate of force production. So again, we're going to set up just like we were for the strength part. From here, we're just going to have a forceful concentric movement, but then we're going to control it eccentrically. So we're going to go, again, same thing as position 2, or for phase 2 for strength, and from here, high force production and back. Again, so we're going to twist fast, control it back. Power, that high force production, and back. Again, arms are straight for this one, and you're going to want to focus and tell the athletes to really squeeze and engage their core and make sure that they're using the core to initiate the twist. So again, so those are the 3 progressions. So again, we had the banded hold, we had the banded rotation, and then we had the banded rotation for power, where we just increased the concentric speed. So that is the first movement. The second movement I selected, we're going to start with a sit-up hold, progress to a twist, and then progress to a twist seated toss. So I'll go from this direction so that you guys can see the angles that I'm making with my body. So to set up, we're going to do the seated hold position first. And so for this one, you can start without a medicine ball if your athlete's a little weaker, or if the athlete's starting kind of strong, they can have the medicine ball to hold. Again, up to you and the athlete to determine that. So for a starting position, you want a 90-degree angle between your hips, knees, and feet. So you can tell it's about a 90-degree angle right there, and that's what I want. Excuse me. The next angle that you want is another 90-degree angle from the knees, hips to shoulders. So again, that's going to force me to straighten my back, arch my back a little bit, and not have it rounded like this. That's going to help increase that core stabilization. So again, 90-degree angle from my ankle, knee to hip, and the 90-degree angle from my knee, hip to shoulder. So from here, we'll just pretend that we don't need the medicine ball to start. We're going to start with our hands right here against our chest, and we're just going to be here and we're going to hold. So again, we're just holding. Again, the spine isn't moving. Core is bracing itself, trying to, again, prevent my back from falling. So we'll keep all these 90-degree angles, and from here, before you advance to the medicine ball, you can hold your hands out here. This provides another little level of difficulty. And again, 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle. So if that's easy, then you can have the athlete hold the medicine ball here. Then if that's easy, they can progress and hold the medicine ball out here. So that is the stabilization progression for the core exercise. The next one is just going to be a twist, commonly called a Russian twist or a Mason twist. For this one, we're going to be set up in the same position, 90-degree angles all around. And again, we don't need to have the medicine ball to start. If the athlete's a little weaker, that's fine. We're going to start with our hands straight out in front of us. Got my 90-degree angles, and then again, I'm going to twist with my spine, rotate with my spine and my hips, all the way one way, come back to the middle, and then twist to the other way. So I'm going to start here. I'm twisting as far as I can. That's as far as I can. Twisting back up to the middle. Twisting as far as I can this way, and back. Again, important thing is to try to keep that athlete have their back straight. You don't want them to slouch. You want to keep that back straight. So we're here, twisting this way, back to the middle, twisting to the other side. So from here, you can add that medicine ball. You're going to be here, arms straight, twist, up, and up. So that is the strength progression. So from there, we would go into a power progression, and all we would do is just add a throw for that power movement, that high force production. So again, same position to start at. And let's say we're going to throw it to the right, throw it toward the camera. Start with our hands again straight out in front of us. We're going to twist as far as we can to the left. And then when we're rotating back up, about when we hit the middle of our body is when we're going to release the ball and generate that force to throw the ball. So again, you would have a partner. You'd either have a partner to catch the ball and throw it back to you, or you would have a wall that you can safely throw it against and have the ball bounce back to you. So we're going to be here, going to twist as far as I can twist, keep my arms straight, and as I'm twisting back, I'm going to have a forceful twist. I will release the ball when it's midline of my body, and that is the power progression. So again, one more time, twisting, got my 90-degree angles, back is straight, I'm here, high rate of force. Once I get to the middle, I release that ball. So that is the whole video. Kind of encompasses why we go from stabilization to strength to power. And then those are the two exercises that I chose to progress through stabilization, strength, and power. Thanks for watching, guys.